The pet of the senior brother is either a dragon or a tiger. Our senior brother's pet, however, is a kitchen knife. Normally, being lazy in cultivation would be one thing, but our senior brother has even used the sect's skills to fix things. Those who joined the same year have already reached the foundation establishment stage, but he is still just at the peak of chi refinement. This young man is a crossover. He discovered through the system that the cultivation skills in the sect could be turned into someone's food. So instead of dedicating himself to cultivation like everyone else, he focused on grinding games in the Jade Slip. What the heck, that game is a hidden artifact of this world. The monsters in the game are real demon beasts from the forbidden area. Unbeknownst to him, he kept grinding straight to level 100, clearing countless forbidden areas that even the strongest dare not enter, becoming a prophesied savior in the future, yet no one believes him. At Shenguang's sect, just like every day, the small street was bustling with people coming and going. Suddenly, a loud noise erupted, causing everyone to stop and watch. Chi Yuan appeared majestically with the knife running after him on the ground. A passerby exclaimed, "Oh my! We only see people walking their spiritual pets. This is the first time I've seen someone walking a kitchen knife." Another person quickly interrupted, "Shoo, that's Grand Senior Brother Chi Yuan from Chi Sha Peak." At the same time, the crowd around began to murmur excitedly. I heard he even threatened other disciples, saying his skills are poisonous. This person is treacherous and unpredictable. Be careful with your words, this person is insane, don't provoke him. What a joke. Holding the position of the top disciple, yet he can't even achieve foundation establishment. This person is detestable. Hearing these words, Chi Yuan thought to himself, detestable, treacherous and unpredictable, insane. That's because you don't know how dangerous this world is. My name is Chi Yuan, a cultivator of the Shenguang sect, and also a crossover. After crossing over, I can not only see the marks of each character in the sect but also the annotations of objects. Because of this, I've caused quite a bit of trouble. This world is full of problems. Once foundation establishment is achieved, one can become food for certain beings, making cultivation impossible. Suddenly, Chi Yuan jolted, "Oh no, I almost forgot. Today we have to select disciples." In front of the Shenguang sect's main hall, Kung Fu Lu grimaced with a grumpy expression. Has Chi Yuan from Chi Sha Peak not arrived yet? Seeing this, Jia Gumao came to the rescue. Kong's senior brother, you know his personality. He is an obsession cultivator, independent and solitary. It's quite normal for him to be late occasionally. The obsession path refers to the obsession cultivator. This type of cultivator emphasizes being infatuated with a single thing. It could be an obsession with a sword, a flower, or a person. They are extreme obsessives, bringing about significant psychological issues. In the cultivation world, they are referred to as having a nervous disorder. Generally, no one wants to get entangled with them. Kung Fu Lu clenched his fists, angrily thinking, a newcomer hasn't even joined the sect yet and is already seeing the grand senior brother arrive late. This is utterly disgraceful. Suddenly, Jia Gumao joyfully exclaimed, here he is, he's arrived, Chi Yuan is here. At the same time, Kung Fu Lu declared, since everyone is present, let's begin the selection of disciples. Today is the day of the 5 Peaks disciple selection. The Shenguang sect is renowned far and wide. Many people have been attracted to come and learn, but only the most outstanding disciples are selected by Wu Feng to become true disciples. The students in front of us are those who have achieved the rank of Class A in the examination and are talented enough to become true inheritors. At this moment, Kung Fu Lu stood on the high platform and announced, I would like to introduce to everyone a bit about the senior disciples of each peak. This is the senior disciple of Dozhan Peak, Quang Ren. This is Chi Yuan, the senior disciple of Chi Sha Peak. This is Su Yi, the senior disciple of Wan Fa Peak. This is Jia Gumao, the senior disciple of Shenyao Peak. I, Kung Fu Lu, the last disciple of Master Wu Guang Peak, am the son-in-law of Master Shenguang sect, who has mastered the great accomplishment of the 5 light sacred method, the founder of the little sunlight technique, and the chief disciple of Wu Guang Peak. The system panel of Chi Yuan also displayed. Kung Fu Lu is known as the most outstanding person at Wu Guang Peak, fond of showing off. After he finished speaking, the disciples below all bowed their heads to pay respects to the senior brothers. The group of senior disciples standing behind Kung Fu Lu felt the radiant aura emanating from him was truly dazzling. Ignoring everything else, on this side, Kung Fu Lu quietly assessed the candidates. This person has bright spiritual roots, most suitable for practicing my Wuguang Peak skill. I must seize him first, he thought. With that in mind, he turned back and friendly hinted, "Junior brothers, how will we choose among these 7? Everyone shared the same thought, if you want to choose first, just say it directly. Jia Gumao cleared his throat, breaking the atmosphere, and said, "Ahem, before coming here, the master instructed that this time Chi Sha Peak would choose first." Having said half, he stepped forward and whispered, "Chi Sha Peak hasn't chosen anyone in a long time, and there are rumors that the other 4 peaks are bullying Chi Sha Peak." Upon hearing this, Kung Fu Lu gritted his teeth silently. "You little guy really talk too much. I will choose someone first, it won't affect Chi Yuan's selection." However, Chi Yuan does not know the background of these disciples. If he gets to choose, he might not be able to pick someone with bright spiritual roots. The one with the highest talent must belong to my Wuguang Peak. Thinking this, he spoke up, "Chi Yuan junior brother, please choose someone." Below, the eager disciples were keen to try. Deep down, they all knew that there were many competing disciples in other factions. But at Chi Sha Peak, there was only one, which is why the resources of Chi Sha Peak were the most abundant. Choose me, choose me. On this side, Chi Yuan was seriously considering. If the master has requested me to choose a disciple to enhance the reputation of Chi Sha Peak, then I must definitely select a suitable disciple. When he saw him approaching the person he had previously targeted, Kung Fu Lu secretly broke out in a cold sweat. Oh no, could it be that he has discovered me? Contrary to his thoughts, Chi Yuan looked at the screen in front of this young man and evaluated in his mind. This is an ordinary teenager, but he joined the Shenguang sect for a dubious purpose. Dubious purpose? No, next one. Seeing him pass by, Kung Fu Lu let out a sigh of relief. I really overthought it. How could Chi Yuan have an eye that could compare to Kung Fu Lu of Wuguang Peak? Below, Chi Yuan continued to sift through the candidates. This is an ordinary girl, however, her special physique has been targeted by the Heiji old demon. Consider it a cauldron, which could cause trouble for the Shenguang sect. The physique is indeed special, too dangerous already, next person. Suddenly, his gaze fell upon a young man standing nearby. This is an ordinary youth, who has been cultivating for 2.5 years, but has completely lost his cultivation now. However, deep within his consciousness, there is a flicker of a lingering soul that is asleep. Before coming to the Shenguang sect, he was jilted by his fiancée. Damn it, a typical protagonist. Being a backdrop for him could easily lead to death. Next person, a male with a female's twisted desires, a man with 3 legs. This one is even more twisted, next person. Chi Yuan was left speechless. He thought to himself, to be honest, the Shenguang sect really has a lot of issues. 3 months ago, Chi Yuan exposed the fact that the master of the Shenguang sect was a spy for the Mou sect. After that, he was imprisoned for a few days. Since then, he had no intention of revealing any more issues. So he had to comfort himself, but if there are problems everywhere, it means there are no problems at all. Seeing him struggling to choose anyone, Jia Gumao became worried, this Chi Yuan. Is he really planning to refuse? Kung Fu Lu felt uncomfortable in his heart. What the hell? Is there a rumor that the 4 other factions are bullying your 5-color faction? At this moment, Chi Yuan continued to walk in front of another candidate. This is an ordinary girl, a bit mysterious, and seems to have some thoughts about the Master Peak of Chi Sha Peak. Thoughts about the Master Peak. This is a competitor that needs to be eliminated. Thinking this, he blurted out, no. Suddenly, Jang Ling Su knelt down and loudly introduced himself, I am Jang Ling Su, I have long admired the Grand Senior Brother of Chi Sha Peak, and I hope the Grand Senior Brother can accept me and give me a chance to enter Chi Sha Peak. Jia Gumao was astonished upon hearing this, so Chi Yuan also has fans. Meanwhile, Kung Fu Lu looked skeptical, is it real or fake? Is Chi Yuan's reputation that good? Over here, Chi Yuan was secretly on guard, seems a bit too enthusiastic, could there be malicious intent? Jiang Ling Su, the main branch of the Jiang clan. My name is Jiang Ling Su, I am from the main branch of the Jiang clan, and with my background and family circumstances, I belong to the Xinguang sect of the Dashang kingdom. Basically, I didn't bother paying attention, but today I must join. A month ago, my veins awakened, and I received the chance to take charge of the supreme treasure Qian Kuan mirror. Inside the Qian Kuan mirror, I saw my father dying in battle, my mother bathing the palace in blood, the mainland collapsing, and the seas overturning. Only the small Xinguang sect somehow survived, likely because there was an expert protecting it. The Qian Kuan mirror is the supreme treasure of my clan. What I saw was the future, a warning from the heavenly secrets. But this memory cannot be revealed, otherwise, even I myself would forget it. Therefore, I must join the Xinguang sect, and ideally, the Chi Sha Peak. The peak master of that place has a mysterious background and overwhelming strength, very likely the expert I saw. Moreover, Chi Sha Peak has only one disciple. Entering this peak will make my investigation much easier and more convenient. It's said that obsession cultivators often have problematic personalities. They tend to neglect everything, have no one to take care of them, or lack people to handle chores. Jang Ling Su can start from this point. For the sake of all living beings, and for the people I love. So what if Jang Ling Su has to endure a little hardship? Thinking this, Jang Ling Su gathered all her courage and clasped her hands in prayer. I, Jang Ling Su, am willing to be a servant, to be a beast of burden, to help senior brother resolve difficulties. Upon hearing this, Chi Yuan was taken aback. The last candidate for a disciple of Chi Sha Peak. If Chi Sha Peak does not accept a disciple, it might be forced to accept one by the other 4 peaks. It's not easy, even if they are forced to accept a disciple, what can be done? Never mind, let's choose her. After all, she is just a woman, she cannot possibly take the master from me. After a moment of internal struggle, Chi Yuan finally made his decision, all right. Jang Ling Su, upon hearing this, joyfully exclaimed, thank you, Chi Yuan senior brother. The young girl displayed her emotions, but in reality, Chi Yuan had no other choice. The 4 senior disciples on the high platform were surprised to see this. Oh, so Chi Yuan likes this type. Chi Yuan suddenly announced, everyone, the selection is complete, I will take my leave now. Jia Gumao quickly raised his hand to stop him. Chi Yuan junior brother, please wait a moment, I have some questions regarding the pill recipe for the Yang Yuan pill. I wonder if junior brother has time to offer guidance. If junior brother can help me solve this doubt, I will gift you a spiritual items foundation establishment. Kung Fu Lu was startled upon hearing this, spiritual items foundation establishment. That's not cheap. Quan Ren, standing next to him, couldn't help but be curious, is it true or not? A disciple from Xinyao Peak is asking Chi Yuan how to refine pills. On this side, Chi Yuan agreed, in the evening, I will go down the mountain to walk my pet, and I can help you take a look. Jia Gumao happily replied, that sounds good. The conversation ended. As Chi Yuan turned to leave, he called out, junior sister, let's go. Jiang Ling Su responded in a daze, oh, yes. Then she stood up and followed him out of the hall. Once Chi Yuan was out of sight, Kung Fu Lu immediately lunged forward and questioned, Jia Gu junior brother, are you sure you want Chi Yuan to teach you about the pill recipe? Jia Gumao hurriedly explained, Chi Yuan junior brother is incredibly talented, always having astonishing ideas. He may have unique insights into alchemy. In fact, half a month ago, he had accidentally encountered Chi Yuan walking his pet. Then they discussed the pill recipe and received quite a few benefits. After hearing this, Kung Fu Lu was very confused, what is that? A mentally unstable person with expansive thoughts. Quan Ren slowly advised, if he is as powerful as you say, then why can't he create a spiritual pet foundation establishment? Jia Gu junior brother, your spiritual pet foundation establishment is about to be lost. Hearing this, Jia Gumao did not get angry but replied, one-step genius, one-step madness, Chi Yuan might just have unique insights. Suddenly, Kung Fu Lu clapped his hands, all right, we should focus on the main issue. If you have no objections, I will choose someone from before. The malice radiating from him made the candidates feel a chill down their spines. At the same time, at Chi Sha Peak, Jang Ling Su was walking while admiring the scenery around her, is this Chi Sha Peak? She then opened her mouth to ask, Grand Senior Brother, where is Master? What kind of person is master? Chi Yuan suddenly stopped, turned his head to the side, and smiled. Her master is extremely beautiful. Jang Ling Su began to panic inside. Wait, is this the word used to describe the master? She continued to question. Well, aside from being beautiful, what else? Chi Yuan immediately replied, the master's figure is also beautiful. Hearing this, Jang Ling Su thought to herself, is this really the cultivator of the obsession path? It's truly frightening. After a moment of hesitation, she decisively asked, Senior brother, as a new disciple, can I pay my respects to the master? Chi Yuan honestly answered, You can't meet her, the summit has restrictions. The master once said that if you haven't reached the golden core realm, you are not allowed to go up to the summit to meet her. Jang Ling Su suddenly felt disheartened. What? The cultivation path has 7 realms: refined chi, foundation establishment, golden core, nascent soul, purple mansion, yin spirit, and yang spirit. Foundation establishment is already a core disciple, so golden core could be the upper tier of the sect. With my talent, even with the full support of my family, it would still take decades to become a golden core cultivator. Her voice began to tremble. Why does the master impose such harsh requirements? Chi Yuan, seeing this, stroked his hair and boasted, could it be that the master is afraid to see me? Jang Ling Su's face turned pale. How could the master be afraid to see you? However, there were rumors that after Chi Yuan met the master never appeared in the sect again. So what is the greatest taboo you have committed? Suddenly, Chi Yuan spoke up, Oh right, junior sister, my Chi Sha Peak has no intention of recruiting anyone, so I haven't prepared a place for you either. There are some straw and wood in the courtyard, you can go move your things and build a thatched hut. Just stay there for now. After giving his orders, he turned and stretched casually, leaving Jang Ling Su alone in the courtyard. On the outside, she appeared calm, but inside, she was in turmoil. I, a member of the Jiang clan, have to build my own room, and with dry grass too. Calm down. Although Chi's senior brother is a bit unreasonable, I must not forget my purpose for coming here. I need to find the expert who can withstand natural disasters. A few moments later, Jang Ling Su looked at the thatched cottage, trying to use her spiritual energy to stabilize it. She happily exclaimed, done. After that, she thought, next, I will go build a relationship with senior brother Chi. Jang Ling Su stood in front of the room's door and called out, Senior brother. From inside, Chi Yuan's voice echoed, come in. As she pushed the door open and entered, she curiously asked, Senior brother, what game are you playing? The world of cultivating immortals today was no longer as quiet as it once was. The entertainment industry was incredibly rich, ranging from alchemy betting, fishing for melodies, to sword immortal dances, and even games. The jade slip in Chi Yuan's hand was a gaming jade slip. This jade slip stored many different types of games, including genres like combat, dungeon exploration, farming, and even some incredibly unique special genres. But it seems that senior brother Chi's jade slip is a bit special. Is senior brother planning to play games until noon? Damn it, I've been working all afternoon. He's clearly also at the Chi refinement stage, so why doesn't he put in the effort? Thinking of this, Jang Ling Su, also at the peak of Chi refinement, smiled and asked. Senior brother, aren't you cultivating? If I'm not mistaken, you must have reached the Chi refinement peak already, just one step away from foundation establishment. Chi Yuan immediately interrupted, you don't understand, I am indeed cultivating. Upon hearing this, she secretly speculated, an obsession cultivator needs to find their obsession in order to cultivate. Could it be that senior brother's obsession is playing games? But being addicted to games is still being addicted, the obsession path cannot rely on playing games for cultivation. Jang Ling Su hesitated, Seeing this, Chi Yuan sighed, speak up, why did you come to find me? After hearing this, she leaned closer, Senior brother, I've finished building the thatched hut, can you teach me the skills of the Chi Sha Peak now? He decisively replied, the skills of the Chi Sha Peak cannot be cultivated. Jang Ling Su asked in confusion, Why is that? At the same time, she thought, could it be that this skill hides a secret? Does it have something to do with that expert? Am I on the right track now? A few seconds later, Chi Yuan slowly answered the question, because the skill is poisonous. Jang Ling Su felt confused. How can a skill from the sect be poisonous? She subconsciously spoke up, "It's okay, Grand Senior Brother, I don't mind that." After hearing this, he reached into his robe and pulled out an object. Then here it is, the magic formula refined by Chi Yuan from Chi Sha Peak. Jang Ling Su looked at it in shock. What on earth is this? Although she didn't know anything about it, she still praised him boldly. Senior brother, you are really amazing, you even modified the skill. Seeing this, Chi Yuan spoke up, I have modified it, but unfortunately, it's still not complete. I will send you the full version later. Upon hearing this, she felt unsettled. The magic formula for cultivation cannot be easily modified like that. At least a golden core cultivator should have the right to do so, and you are still at the refined Chi realm. A few minutes later, Jang Ling Su forced a smile and advised, thank you, Grand Senior Brother. But Grand Senior Brother, the magic formula for cultivation is extremely important. It must not be tampered with, otherwise it could easily lead to overdoing it. Chi Yuan crossed his arms and questioned back, so you think that if you don't fix the skill, everything will go smoothly? In Jang Ling Su's mind, she immediately retorted, it's the arbitrary modification of skills that is the real problem. The senior brother's brain really has issues, and they're quite significant too. No wonder he's an obsession cultivator. After a while, she took the skill back to her room, immersing herself in thought, telling herself, first, let's see what's special about this magic formula from Chi Sha Peak. I wonder what it could turn into after being modified by the Grand Senior Brother. The fire cultivation technique, a jade-level skill, was quite ordinary. I've seen this in our family's treasury before. Is this part the Senior Brother's modification? It seems quite similar to the old one. Thinking this, she retracted her aura. After finishing her inspection, Jang Ling Su muttered a conclusion, I can't let the Grand Senior Brother cultivate blindly. I need to send this skill to Aa's sister for a review first. At Xian Yuan Forbidden, a monster roared loudly as it charged forward, but in the next moment, it was met with a barrage of attacks. In the blink of an eye, it collapsed and was completely taken out. Chi Yuan looked excited. A mere level 50 monster dares to show off in front of me. The game Chi Yuan played was all about slaying monsters. This place was called the Wangyu Mainland, and the area where Chi Yuan resided was known as Xian Yuan Forbidden, one of the 4 great forbidden areas. When Chi Yuan first entered this place, he was only level 1. After countless monster hunting battles on this survival death ground, he had slaughtered his way through hordes of monsters up to level 80. Chi Yuan charged forward enthusiastically. Kill. While fighting, he still had the energy to think, I'm already really strong now. If I went back to reality, cutting down the Shenguang sect master with a single strike wouldn't even be a problem. Thinking that, Chi Yuan pulled the sword out from the monster's body, then looked ahead. Next, there's only that boss left. Mad Pen, level 70. During the day, it was just a foxtail riding brush, but at night it transformed into a demon fox that attacked those who were enchanted. Its method of nocturnal ambush was brutally terrifying. Even if I log off, then I still have to dig a hole and bury myself. Chi Yuan cheerfully thrust his sword forward. Today is finally the day I take my revenge, I must strike with all my might. Where can that demon escape to? Just as he rushed forward, Mad Pen also began to move. Chi Yuan quickly slashed at it, but it suddenly disappeared before his eyes. From behind him, Mad Pen slowly emerged from the ground, rushing towards him to launch a sneak attack. However, just as it was about to reach him, it was repelled, deforming the nib of the pen. Seeing this, Chi Yuan burst into laughter. Are you stunned? I have long prepared equipment specifically to deal with you. He stared at it intently, then slowly raised his sword and delivered a powerful slash. Demon slaying sword technique. The cliff was sliced cleanly. After finishing off the enemy, Chi Yuan coldly turned and walked away. Too weak. A system screen appeared. Congratulations, the player has cleared the Xian Yuan Forbidden Dungeons, you have received a surprise reward. Reward 1, Heavenly Dao Fragment 10. Reward 2, Divine Pen. Chi Yuan reached out to receive them and thought, is this really the reward for clearing the Xian Yuan Forbidden? In the blink of an eye, 2 beams of light struck his body. Chi Yuan closed his eyes and silently analyzed. After obtaining the fragment of the Heavenly Dao, it seems I have become the city lord of the Xian Yuan Forbidden Area. The design of this game is quite unique, but why is it divided into so many pieces? Are there other fragments as well? What will happen if I piece them all together? And about that, the divine pen is condensed from the power of the rules and can be used to write the rules for the Xian Yuan Forbidden Area. Let me see what interesting things I can write. Ah, I have an idea. Imagining Chi Yuan carrying a ladder on his back and being able to enter every park on Earth, he wondered, should I add a requirement for maintenance workers to wear uniforms? Never mind, I've already written it. It's getting late, it's time to meet Jia Gumao. A few seconds later, Chi Yuan gently placed the token on the table. Then, he cheerfully said to the kitchen knife. By the way, let's take you for a walk, let's go. Although Chi Yuan was somewhat crazy, he was still a well-known figure in the sect. Many sect cultivators also loved to take their pets for walks. At this moment, Chi Yuan was looking at what was in front of him while saying, Your Xiao Ao is not bad, perhaps in a few thousand years, it will develop spiritual intelligence. The girl, upon hearing this, felt secretly angry. If you don't know, then don't speak, it's your pet that will need those few thousand years. A moment later, she spoke sarcastically. Chi Yuan's senior brother, so when will your pet be able to awaken its spiritual intelligence? Immediately, those standing nearby burst out laughing. How could Chi Yuan's pet, a kitchen knife, possibly know how to speak? Chi Yuan raised a finger and honestly replied. At most, it will take a year, if it's short, it will be very short. The girl covered her mouth, laughing disdainfully. Senior brother really knows how to joke. Two others also felt speechless. Chi's senior brother has gone crazy again. From a distance, a voice rang out. Jiagu's senior brother, you're not being fooled by him, are you? Look at him, he's so crazy, how could he possibly know how to refine pills? But Jia Gumao completely ignored this. Not only that, he loudly declared. Chi Yuan Jr. brother has improved the spiritual technique and even tested it himself, regardless of success or failure, his courage is commendable. You all laugh like this, it's no different from a frog sitting at the bottom of a well. Immediately, the disciples all bowed their heads, Senior brother, your teachings are indeed correct. At this moment, Jia Gumao, who had a strong foundation establishment, turned to look at Chi Yuan and smiled friendly, Chi Yuan Jr. brother, today the master is refining pills so I have to attend to him. I apologize for being late. Chi Yuan immediately replied, it's okay. Upon hearing this, he took out something and said, Chi Yuan Jr. brother, this is the pill recipe for the Yang Yuan pill that I obtained from the Cultivation cave, please take a look at this pill recipe. He took it slowly. Instantly, the system screen displayed, this is a part of the pill recipe for the Yang Yuan pill, this Yang Yuan pill recipe has too many problems. After reviewing it, Chi Yuan commented, this Yang Yuan pill recipe has too many problems, replace the Chu Hong with Trin Nu, and replace the Duong Ko with Qiu Tai Hoa. The disciple behind him was furious and thought, speaking carelessly, you don't even bother to look at the pill recipe seriously. Meanwhile, Jia Gumao was seriously considering, Trin Nu, Qiu Tai Hoa. Suddenly, Chi Yuan exclaimed, where is the spiritual items foundation establishment? Hearing this, he immediately came to his senses. Ah, here it is, this is the Yu Zhu purple crystal, which is a Bat Pham spiritual items foundation establishment. The spiritual items foundation establishment has 8 ranks, lower 3 grades, middle 3 grades, and upper 3 grades. According to legend, there are higher ranks above the 3 grades. If a higher grade spiritual items foundation establishment is used, the effectiveness of the foundation establishment will be even greater, and the potential will also be larger. The price of spirit grade foundation establishment is also extremely high. Even a lower grade Yu Zhu purple crystal is not something that an ordinary refined Qi disciple of the Shenguang sect can afford. Jia Gumao slowly explained, the grade of the Yu Zhu purple crystal is a bit low. If junior brother Chi Yuan is not in a hurry, you could gather some more spirit stones and exchange the Yu Zhu purple crystal for a higher grade spiritual items foundation establishment. Upon hearing this, Chi Yuan immediately declined, no need, thank you, brother. Suddenly, he spoke up, junior brother Chi Yuan, if you haven't offended the master, then don't worry about these middle grade spiritual items. Even if it were upper grade spiritual items, it wouldn't be a problem, and you would have long since entered the Foundation establishment realm. In his heart, Jia Gumao sighed. You need to understand that even the master of the Shenguang sect has to be courteous toward that master. After all, Huan Yi is considered a strong nascent soul cultivator. Chi Sha Peak was established just a year ago, and since then, Huan Yi had always been its peak master. Her lifespan had already exceeded 1,000 years. And with a lifespan of 1,000 years, she was at least a nascent soul realm cultivator. For someone at such a powerful level, anything that passed through her hands would be an invaluable treasure. But because of your sky-high audacity that angered the master, your supply of resources got cut off. Thinking of this, he tried to persuade him. How about, you go apologize to the master? Qi Yuan immediately refuted. I didn't say anything wrong, so why should I apologize? Let me tell you guys. Jia Gumao suddenly had a bad feeling. Wait, don't tell me he's going to. And right away, Qi Yuan boldly declared. You're all afraid of Huan Yi, but I'm not, because that woman is actually. The moment he heard that, he rushed over and covered Qi Yuan's mouth. Qi Junior brother, stop talking. Qi Junior brother, I'm going back to study the pill recipe first. See you again. At Xinyao Peak, the disciple felt confused. Grand Senior brother, Qi Yuan is not a member of our Xinyao Peak, so how can he help you with the pill recipe? I will go get the Yuzhu purple crystal now. Jia Gumao turned around and looked at him disdainfully. I have already made a deal with Qi Junior brother, what right do you have to interfere? Seeing him angry, the disciple shouted loudly, understood, Grand Senior brother, I'm just worried that Senior brother is wasting his efforts and wasting medicinal resources. Jia Gumao coldly interjected, you guys. You don't understand anything at all. Wait for me to refine for a while, based on the pill recipe first, then we'll talk about the results. That night at Chi Sha Peak, Qi Yuan leisurely tied up his kitchen knife. He gently picked up the token and thought, after dinner, I'll just play a game. Suddenly, Qi Yuan's eyes widened in astonishment. He was very surprised, she's online. When he received the jade slip for the game, Qi Yuan thought it was just some strange electronic product. What is this? Can it be used for chatting? At that moment, the game map had not yet been unlocked. But in the jade slip, there is a friend. What do you mean by the minister of the Forbidden Army? What is she talking about that's so strange? Moreover, I've heard she is about to inherit a very large fortune, likely a rich beauty. Just kidding, oh, is she angry now? That's a bit cute. Qi Yuan has very few friends in the hospital, and the girl in the jade slip is his only means of communication. Unfortunately, after the game map was reset, his friend list disappeared and has not returned until now. I never expected to meet her. What should I say now? Qi Yuan happily pressed the screen. No, it should be like this, are you there? In the Nanqian kingdom, Jinli lowered her voice and ordered, go outside. The maid bowed her head, understood. After they left, the room fell silent once more. Jinli couldn't help but smile wryly. Even the maid beside me is not trustworthy, as a queen, I truly feel powerless. 10 years ago, when my father passed away, at the age of 7, I thought I was going to inherit the throne, but in reality, I was just a mere girl. The demon clan launched an attack, and the enemy eyed our nation. In these years, the Nanqian kingdom is in great danger. Now, the powerful official Sima Ting is colluding with the Bei Han royal court, and the Qin ant, whom I trusted the most, has been ambushed and severely injured. My circumstances are becoming increasingly difficult. The Qin ant is indeed a strong royal supporter of Jinli, Sima Ting. The injury to Qin ant was caused by your actions, wasn't it? After thinking it over, she slowly undressed and stepped into the bath. Jinli immersed herself in the water and sighed, I'm so tired. Suddenly, a beam of light caught her attention, it's the Ling Long Jade Seat. The legendary Ling Long Jade Seat is said to be born as a pair. Two people who possess this rare treasure can communicate with each other through it. And within the royal treasury of the Nanqian kingdom, there is indeed one. A year ago, Jinli entered the royal treasury and discovered the Ling Long Jade Seat and casually took it out. Holding the token in her hand, she thought, it seems to be calling me. Unexpectedly, within the Ling Long Jade Seat, she encountered an interesting person. The days that followed for Jin Li were very enjoyable. This person is really interesting. Although this person spoke in a somewhat peculiar manner. But somehow, he was able to make the lonely Queen Jin Li suddenly feel happy for a moment, helping her relax a little. Half a year without paying attention to me, I thought something happened to you. She quickly replied. Yes. You weren't there during this time. Where did you go? On the other side, Chi Yuan hurriedly responded. I originally wanted to invite you to go monster hunting with me, but the moment I entered the map, I couldn't contact you anymore. Reading this, Jin Li quietly guessed. Monster hunting? Sounds like slaying demons. He's probably a demon-slaying sage. She suddenly asked him. Is that place dangerous? Chi Yuan quickly replied. For us players, the fourth calamity of the world, how could there be any danger? Monsters? They're just walking bags of experience. Do you want to team up with me? When a man and woman travel together, there's no exhaustion. Jin Li looked at the text on the screen and couldn't help but grin. He's probably inviting me to hunt demons with him, but with my situation right now. In an instant, her mood sank. There's trouble at home right now. I can't go. Chi Yuan was surprised. That busy? You don't even have time to play the game. She typed slowly, asking, where are you? He immediately replied, before, I was at Xian Yuan Forbidden, and now I am preparing to go to Yi Guan Forbidden. Jin Li's eyes widened in shock. She jumped up in surprise. Xian Yuan Forbidden, Yi Guan Forbidden. Aren't those the four great forbidden areas? The Wang Yu mainland is vast and boundless, with the human clan and demon clan holding equal power. Yet, above both the human clan and the demon clan exists an even more terrifying existence. It is not a race, but the four most forbidden areas in legend. Even the emperor of the demon clan does not dare to casually step in, for doing so would lead to danger and death. Among them, the most terrifying place is called Tianmia, where even an emperor entering would face certain death. Xian Yuan Forbidden is located within the borders of the Nanqian Kingdom, hundreds of miles away from the royal capital of the Nanqian Kingdom. It is said that this place was transformed from the tomb of a strong supreme. Chi Yuan said he has been killing monsters in Xian Yuan Forbidden during this time. How can that be? Thinking of this, Jin Li asked, are you serious? Or are you joking with me? Chi Yuan replied nonchalantly, what would I lie to you for? I'm still waiting to invite you to join the team, going into dungeons alone is boring. But now it's not necessary, I've wiped out all the monsters in Xian Yuan Forbidden already, I'm exhausted. Upon hearing this, Jin Li was taken aback. You killed them all. Inside, she was secretly alarmed. What is this? The demonic objects of Xian Yuan Forbidden are not only numerous but also very powerful. Among all the geniuses in the history of Wang Yu mainland, how many could survive and return? If someone could wipe out Xian Yuan Forbidden, even the Emperor Supreme couldn't manage that. Jin Li looked at the token, transmitting her curious thoughts. What cultivation do you have? Could it be Saint? Chi Yuan replied innocently, Saint? What is that? I'm only level 82. Jin Li was confused, level 82. Chi Yuan's words were indeed strange. Perhaps this is the standard for assessing his strength, so I can find other points of reference to compare. Then she sent a message to inquire, is there any monster in Xian Yuan Forbidden that left a deep impression on you? He didn't hide anything and answered in detail. In the Xian Yuan Forbidden, the strongest thing is a mad pen. It's extremely cunning, always likes to turn into a writing brush at night, doesn't bother with martial ethics, and sneak attacks people. Every time I log out, I have to dig a hole and bury myself. Jin Li was instantly shocked. Mad pen. That thing even has the strength of an Emperor Supreme. In my Nanqian Kingdom, there are only 2 or 3 people with Emperor-level strength. Jin Li frowned and carefully asked another question. What level is it? Chi Yuan replied playfully. That thing? Barely around level 70. That sentence stunned her completely. It's level 70 but he's level 82. Is that real? It seemed he noticed her curiosity, so he asked. What's wrong? You want to go to Xian Yuan Forbidden? Jin Li wanted to, but hesitated. There's a restriction outside the Xian Yuan Forbidden. Even an emperor can't enter. Qi Yuan wasted no time, acting immediately as he began teleporting. Easy. I'll just show you, like watching a movie. If you bring a ladder, no one can stop you. Besides, the monsters inside also won't attack you. Alright, that's enough talking. I'm heading to the Yi Guan Forbidden now, we'll talk later. Hearing his words, Jin Li simply couldn't believe it. From Xian Yuan Forbidden to Yi Guan Forbidden is a distance of 100,000 li. How could anyone reach it in such a short time? Even an Emperor Supreme couldn't do that. The water in the bath rippled gently as Jin Li moved. Qi Yuan, just who exactly are you? A few minutes later, she had finished dressing and was sitting in a chair, studying the map. The southern front is extremely tense. Even the Zhanxiang clan has joined the war. 3 days from now, the crown prince of the Nan Feng kingdom will arrive at the imperial capital. Nanqian kingdom is like a piece of fat meat, everyone is eyeing it. Even I'm being used as spoils of war. 10 days from now, the grand preceptor of the Nan Feng kingdom will come to duel with Aunt Qin. If Aunt Qin loses, I'll have to marry the Nan Feng crown prince. But Aunt Qin is seriously injured right now, she can't possibly stand against the grand preceptor. What am I supposed to do? Qi Yuan, I hope you were telling the truth. Thinking so, she stood up and ordered the servants. Someone. Take me to the library pavilion. Bring all the notes about Xian Yuan Forbidden here. They quickly knelt down to receive the order, understood. Before long, everything was brought back, piled up in a very chaotic manner. She flipped through the papers while pondering, to win, we must take good care of Aunt Qin. There are many elixirs in Xian Yuan Forbidden, we just need to find the corresponding ones. Jiu Hua Qi La is the one, with 9 petals blooming, emitting 9 different fragrances, known as the royal medicine. If Aunt Qin can obtain this type of elixir, not only will her wounds heal completely, but she could even break through to the royal level. Just carrying a ladder is enough to enter Xian Yuan Forbidden, and not be attacked. That still seems a bit unreasonable. But Qi Yuan wouldn't need to deceive herself either. Moreover, Mad Pen is only recorded in the books collected by my Nanqian kingdom. She paused her train of thought for a moment to consider, forget it, let's leave the palace for Xian Yuan Forbidden, and then send a team to Yi Guan Forbidden to investigate. If there really are strong beings killing monsters in Yi Guan Forbidden, there must be some big movements going on. Inside Yi Guan Forbidden, Qi Yuan had just set foot in this place. He was startled when a group of level 55 and 60 players all looked at him. Wow! So many. This idea is tough, forget it. While trying to escape, Qi Yuan didn't forget to knock down anyone who got in his way. After a while, he found a tree trunk to cling to. Qi Yuan sighed in relief. Finally escaped. I tried a few more times earlier, the monsters in Yi Guan Forbidden are not like the ones in Xian Yuan Forbidden. The monsters in Yi Guan Forbidden gather in large packs, making them hard to deal with. He didn't care anymore, dug a hole and said, never mind, I'll just leave it at this for today. Time to log off. At the same time, in the Nanqian kingdom, in the residence of the Chancellor, 2 people were leisurely playing chess. Chancellor of Nanqian kingdom, Sima Ting. Just as he placed a piece down, someone came to report. Today, the Queen met with the Minister of the Ministry of Household to organize disaster relief, then met with Qin Old Madam, and has been approving memorials since, with no unusual activities. Only at night did she order the maid to go to the library pavilion to look up materials about Xian Yuan Forbidden. Hearing that name, Sima Ting smirked in disdain. Xian Yuan Forbidden. It seems she can only place her hopes on Xian Yuan Forbidden in the ethereal void. Madame Qin is heavily injured, with the battle scheduled in 10 days, how can victory be achieved? She has entered a point of no return. The only thing I need to worry about next is those who have collaborated with the Beihan royal court, and the General Tian Kai at the border. The person opposite seized the opportunity to flatter, congratulations, Chancellor. In 10 days, when the old Madame Qin is defeated, we will attack together. At that time, Nanqian will belong to you, Chancellor. He nodded but did not respond to the compliment. Sima Ting held a black chess piece in his hand and smiled, saying, but we still need to send a few people along. When working, we must be a bit cautious. At Chi Sha Peak, Chi Yuan came over yawning due to sleepiness. When he saw Jang Ling Su practicing, he praised, "Good morning, junior sister." The system display showed, this is an ordinary young girl, carrying a lot of Taoist principles, diligently cultivating and looking forward to the day, when she has enough strength to dominate the world and prevent disasters from occurring again. After reading this, he silently applauded. Not bad, not bad. Junior sister Jiang actually has the heart to save the world. It's just that your whole body smells like sweat. Seeing Chi Yuan looking at her with clear disdain, Ling Su spoke bluntly. Grand senior brother, why do you look so weak and frail? It's a bit like, overindulging too much. Hearing that, Chi Yuan's face turned pale as he shouted. How could that be? I just stayed up all night playing games yesterday, so my spirit got a bit drained. She retorted with disgust. Who wastes their spiritual energy playing games? Hearing that, he was rendered speechless, crying out in his heart. It must be because I still haven't reached foundation establishment. That's why playing games drains my spirit so badly. I must break through to foundation establishment. To reach foundation establishment I need skills. I already looked through all the sect skills, but they're still not enough. Chi Yuan swept his gaze over Jang Ling Su, her background extraordinary, carrying many techniques. Being stared at like that made her shiver. Senior brother, what's wrong? Then he grabbed Ling Su's shoulder sincerely and pleaded. Junior sister, you must save your senior brother. I can tell you come from an extraordinary lineage, you must have a lot of skills, right? No matter what grade they are. Then let me borrow it too, Jiang Ling Su said without being stingy. How many do you want, senior brother? Chi Yuan crossed his arms and nodded, replying, of course, the more the better, hundreds or even thousands would be best. Seeing this, she asked doubtfully, you want that many? Senior brother, what do you want these skills for? His eyes widened with hope as he said, to create my own skills. If you give me these skills, I will cultivate them. At that time, throughout the Shenguang sect, no, throughout the Shan Luan realm, senior brother will protect you. She didn't quite believe him but didn't dare to voice it, thinking, grand senior brother is really too confident, I could probably win using just one hand right now, so there's basically no need for him to protect me. But since grand senior brother has said so, I should help him. After all, it's just the two of us on this mountain. Moreover, Huan Yi has taken grand senior brother as a disciple for so many years, which proves he must think highly of him. I need to build a good relationship with Chi Yuan. Then, Jiang Ling Su took out a piece of jade and hurriedly instructed, here are the skills for you to borrow and take a look. Grand senior brother, please don't spend all day playing games anymore. Work hard on your cultivation so you can protect little junior sister in the future. He immediately gave a thumbs up and said, playing games is also a form of cultivation. She felt a bit happy but then got angry. However, Chi Yuan didn't care, only paying attention to the jade pendant. There are hundreds of skills, and little junior sister is no longer smelly but very fragrant now. Once he got what he wanted, Chi Yuan went into his room, locked the door, and sat down on the bed, focusing his mind to check it. Earthly Soul Destruction Technique, 4 Steps Technique, 3 Origins Skill. The magic cultivation formulas are divided into low grade, medium grade, high grade, jade grade, mysterious grade, and heaven level. The higher the grade, the harder the cultivation, but the power and potential are also greater. This jade slip contains 637 skills, with the majority being low grade and medium grade, high grade being very rare, and there are a few jade grade skills, but they are enough for me to use. The next day, Chi Yuan sat on the bed muttering, so that's how it is, so that's how it is, my Taoist understanding has deepened. In his hand was a new skill. The system displayed the information. This is a skill that has many loopholes. During cultivation, there is a possibility of memory confusion. It can be cultivated to the complete refined chi stage. Notably, cultivating this skill will not become food for any existence. Chi Yuan was overjoyed, tears in his eyes, cherishing this skill. After hard work and study, I finally have a reward. It must be given a beautiful name. Let's call it the Chi Yuan scripture. It's a pity that it can only be cultivated to the complete refined chi stage. Tomorrow, I need to attend some classes to fully understand the process of foundation establishment, and then I will strive to perfect the skill to the foundation establishment realm. Phew, this is exhausting, I wonder how Cam Lai is doing. At the same time, at the Xian Yuan forbidden area, Jin Li raised his hand to touch the golden barrier. Is this really the legendary Xian Yuan forbidden area that even the emperor cannot enter? At this moment, the bodyguard approached to report, Your Majesty, we have just investigated those nearby. Everyone says that the Xian Yuan forbidden area is no different from before. There has been no disturbance coming from inside. She found it strange and wondered. Weird. Didn't Chi Yuan already clear this place? Why is there no movement at all? Jin Li nodded and gave her order. Tell them to carry the ladder and go in. All the guards responded in unison. Yes, Your Majesty. But the moment the group carrying the ladder arrived, they panicked and refused. This is the Xian Yuan forbidden. How can we possibly enter? My lords, this is nothing like what you said. We beg for our lives, we don't want to die. Please don't force us into a death trap. Far away, someone was secretly observing them, spies sent by the Chancellor. With a dogtail grass stem in his mouth, one of them asked. What is the Queen trying to do? She wants to enter the Xian Yuan forbidden. He looked forward and sneered. Using a ladder to climb in. Ridiculous. But then, both of them froze. A death row convict reached out and touched the barrier. And to their shock, he passed through it effortlessly. The spy exclaimed. What is this? They actually got through. Unable to contain himself, he stood up to get a better view. This is the Xian Yuan forbidden, the place even a supreme emperor can't enter. So why can they enter? He turned left and right, frantically trying to find an explanation. Don't tell me, it's because of that ladder. This needs to be reported to the Lord. Before they could do anything else, they were cut down by a blade. The guard standing on the branch reported, Your Majesty, the spies of the Chancellor have been eliminated. Jin Li ordered, All right, you must keep this matter confidential. All the guards bowed their heads in unison, We swear on our lives that this matter will not be revealed to anyone else. Then, she shouldered a ladder and said with a smile, Everyone, carry the ladder and follow me inside, remember. No matter what terrifying beasts we encounter, the ladder must not leave your side, understood? The female guards happily complied, as you command. One person saw Jin Li also carrying the ladder and said, Your Majesty, with your noble status, how can you place yourself in danger? Let me go in instead. You can wait here. She smiled gently and refused, It's all right, I will enter with you. In her heart, she made a resolution, I trust Chi Yuan. The whole group quickly passed through the barrier, and the smooth journey made Jin Li even more confident. Indeed, we have made it through, and we haven't been attacked at all. The guards who had just entered quickly recognized the rare treasures. There are many elixirs indeed, this is Sanhua Xiang, Xuangu Tao, and Luguo. Jin Li frowned in deep thought. For 10,000 years, no one has set foot in this place. Unlike other forbidden areas, the elixirs in the outskirts have long been collected by the strong. An hour later, they placed the harvested elixirs into a box and showcased them to Jin Li. Your Majesty, I have harvested 23 royal-grade elixirs. Jin Li was astonished. Royal-grade elixirs. Even for myself, I have used less than 10 since I was young. The guard's eyes brightened with hope. With so many elixirs like this, we can't imagine how many strong ones we could create, and how many experts would come to risk their lives, right? Jin Li thought differently. But if we want to turn things around, just these 20-some royal-grade elixirs are far from enough. Then she waved her hand and said to everyone, We must continue deeper inside, we must harvest the imperial-grade elixirs, especially the Jiu Hua Qi La. The guards replied in unison, We are willing to follow your majesty. She took the lead and ventured deeper, determined, we need to obtain Jiu Hua Qi La to treat Aunt Qin. It even helped Aunt Qin take a step further, conveniently checking how Chi Yuan had been during his 6-month stay. Meanwhile, the guard following behind couldn't help but wonder, I wonder which extraordinary person told His Majesty this method. That person must certainly be a supreme emperor. Switching scenes to the cultivation hall of Shenguang sect, Chi Yuan sat prominently in class, making all the disciples curious. Purple robe, a direct disciple, why is he in this class? This is not an ordinary purple robe, it is that of a chief disciple. What? A low-ranking disciple whispered to his fellow disciples, "Aren't classes like this only attended by outside sect disciples and low-ranking disciples like us? Disciples of Shenguang's sect are divided into true disciples, inside sect disciples, outside sect disciples, and servants. Servants hold the lowest status and must perform servant duties while cultivating. Inside sect disciples have a slightly higher rank than outside sect disciples and usually have a master. True disciples are directly taught by an elder. Moreover, a chief disciple is even more special. The answer is Chi Yuan of the sect. Chi Yuan is the pinnacle of the disciples, the chief is the true successor among the true successors, so the elders do not dare to offend him. Seeing this, the servant disciple realized, he is the chief disciple of Chi Sha Peak, Chi Yuan. The female outer sect disciple was captivated by his beauty, no wonder he is the chief disciple, he is truly handsome. The two outer sect disciples sitting above kept discussing, why is he here? I heard he has angered the master of Chi Sha Peak, which caused the master to close the Chi Sha Palace and not come out. By the way, I'm only telling you this, you must not let it out. The female outer sect disciple, hearing this, felt even more admiration, offending the master of the peak. His courage is truly great. Chi Yuan ran his fingers through his hair, thoroughly enjoying this admiration. Indeed, a handsome man is the center of attention wherever he goes. Someone walked in, cutting off Chi Yuan's self-indulgent thoughts. Tu Ren Shan was startled when he saw the newcomer, purple robe, true successor. Oh my, it's the chief of Chi Sha Peak. Why is he here? It must be because my lecture was so good that even this chief disciple was drawn in. This lecture requires a full exertion of 200% of my power. It must be delivered in a truly profound and impressive manner, which will surely astonish this little guy. I place both hands on the table and warmly introduce myself. My name is Tu Ren Shan. Today, I will impart the key points of foundation establishment to everyone. Refining Qi is essentially foundation establishment. Once you achieve foundation establishment, you will become a deacon of our Shenguang sect and enjoy the benefits of worship. However, foundation establishment is divided into levels. You all know that spiritual items for foundation establishment can vary in quality. The better the spiritual items, the better the effect of foundation establishment. But did you know that foundation establishment also has its own ranks? Chi Yuan nodded seriously. Seeing this, he felt pleased. Good, it's effective, let's add another dose. Tu Ren Shan continued his explanation. Foundation establishment is categorized into mortal grade, spirit grade, earth meridian, and immortal grade. Generally, low-grade spiritual items for foundation establishment will achieve foundation establishment at the mortal grade. I am just a cultivator at the mortal grade of foundation establishment, and I have no hope of reaching the golden core realm in this lifetime, which is truly a pity. Medium-grade spiritual items for foundation establishment will lead to foundation establishment at the spirit grade, while high-grade spiritual items for foundation establishment will correspond to foundation establishment at the earth meridian level. On the foundation establishment of spiritual items, there are higher-level spiritual items foundations that can help achieve the immortal grade of foundation establishment. Once one reaches the immortal grade of foundation establishment, there is hope of becoming a true immortal. The other disciples, upon hearing this, had their eyes light up. Wow, is that real? Becoming an immortal? There's such a thing. Why didn't I hear about this before? However, Chi Yuan frowned and thought to himself, is that all? There are similar records in the books at Chi Sha Peak. He then stood up and asked, Master, could it be that the immortal grade foundation establishment is the best foundation establishment? He was a bit surprised by this scene. So this little guy isn't scared. It seems I can only. Tu Ren Shan cleared his throat and replied, Ahem, there is. Above the immortal grade of foundation establishment, there is the legendary foundation establishment of Heavenly Tao, which is the strongest foundation establishment. Chi Yuan excitedly cheered in his mind, foundation establishment of Heavenly Tao. He couldn't help but ask, may I ask, Master, what is the foundation establishment of Heavenly Tao? He cursed in his mind, what the hell do I know about the foundation establishment of Heavenly Tao? But outwardly, he appeared profound and said, Ahem, the so-called foundation establishment of Heavenly Tao is deep and unfathomable. We are just guessing, so take it lightly and don't consider it as the truth. What do you think is the most precious thing in the world regarding the foundation establishment of spiritual items? Is it the spirit essence, the profound sovereign primordial energy, or the supreme bone? Gold essence, various pure essences. Chi Yuan's eyes widened as he listened, growing more puzzled. Foundation establishment heavenly Tao. If it is heavenly Tao, could the foundation establishment of spiritual items be related to heavenly Tao? Tu Ren Shan pointed to the sky, stammering, "You are right, what the foundation establishment of heavenly Tao spiritual items requires is." It was only then that he suddenly realized. Chi Yuan looked up at the sky and shouted loudly, "So that's it, so that's how it is, I understand now. Foundation establishment heavenly Tao, so that's how it is." The old man nodded in approval at his excitement. "It's good that you understand now." The others listening were confused, wondering, what is he talking about? What does he understand? Only Chi Yuan was so excited that he trembled and shed tears. "I have focused too much on appearances, why couldn't I understand this? The so-called foundation establishment of heavenly Tao must naturally use the foundation establishment of heavenly Tao." Then he bowed his head and asked for permission. "Thank you, Master, I will take my leave now." The female disciple looked on in admiration. No wonder he is the chief, so cool. Tu Ren Shan no longer held Chi Yuan back. "Your desire for the Tao is urgent, so go ahead." With that, he charged out with great enthusiasm. The old man continued lecturing in class. "That's right, it is said that the thing for establishing the heavenly Tao foundation is a wisp of pure energy that falls from the heavenly Tao, called the heaven vein Qi, which is the aura of the heavenly Tao. If you can obtain a wisp." But he completely missed these words. As he stepped on the stairs, Chi Yuan began to ponder. The heavenly Tao foundation establishment uses the heavenly Tao to establish the foundation of spiritual items, but how can I take the heavenly Tao to refine my own spiritual items foundation? Wait, isn't the fragment of the heavenly Tao able to become the foundation of spiritual items? The game I play is quite unusual. Each time my character becomes stronger, a part of that strength is reflected in my real life, reality. Perhaps the fragment of the heavenly Tao can also be used in reality. I have to give it a try. Jang Ling Su was furious when she saw him come back and immediately shut the door in his room. "Senior brother, you haven't practiced today again." Chi Yuan was in the room, frowning in annoyance. "What's the point of practicing? Honestly, I can play games much faster." Yi Guan Forbidden launched, and soon he was in the game. Looking at the status board, Chi Yuan exclaimed, "Oh, Jin Li succeeded. I told you I wouldn't deceive her, right? I must say, the monsters in Yi Guan Forbidden are really numerous, and they love to gather in packs. I need to find a lone target to deal with." Stealth. In the game, every time you level up by 30, you receive a main skill, and for every 10 levels, you get a minor skill. Right now, his two main skills are sky-cutting blade technique and domineering strength. Stealth is a minor skill that allows him to conceal his body. When he used stealth to enter, he realized the issue. Damn it, the lustful monsters. After a glance, he immediately shook his head and turned away. It's a pity this place is too crowded. Half a moment later, Chi Yuan returned. Seeing that the monsters had moved down to the water to wash and soak, he was secretly pleased. Very good, there are fewer of them here. He rushed out of the bushes, shouting. The love demon watches the sword. The sword's blade expanded, slicing through a small group of ritual vestments demon beasts. The successful ambush left Chi Yuan feeling delighted. If I keep this up, I'll level up before going to fight those underwear monsters. While still chuckling, a sudden red screen appeared. He panicked and turned to look behind him, muttering, "Are so many ritual vestments demon beasts running towards me? Have I been exposed? What's going on? Do they have a shared line of sight? This is troublesome." Not daring to hesitate any longer, Chi Yuan hurriedly ran to another place, frantically working on the system screen. Right, Jin Li seems to know a bit about this forbidden area, I should try asking her. At the Nanxian Kingdom Palace, Jin Li sat down on a chair, exhaling deeply. The Jiuhua Qila has been handed over to Aunt Qin, so her injury is no longer an issue, she can even step into the Emperor realm now. Suddenly, the jade token flashed with light, and she picked it up, stunned. Is Chi Yuan in danger at Yi Guan Forbidden? After carefully reviewing the content, she hugged her chest and sighed in relief. Fortunately, he managed to escape. In the next moment, she replied with a message. News about Yi Guan Forbidden, I will help you search for it, but you should be careful first. Qi Yuan was overjoyed and thanked her. Oh, thank you for your concern. I must tell you, the Yi Guan Forbidden creatures are particularly strange, and there are even bizarre undergarments with belly bands. Jean Li, upon hearing this, felt a bit doubtful, should I help him or not? Half a moment later, she called someone in to inquire, is there only a little record about Yi Guan Forbidden? Is it just these few pages? The person respectfully replied, Your Majesty, Yugong Manor may have records about Yi Guan Forbidden. The old duke visited Yi Guan Forbidden in his youth. However, this person is a literary scholar from the academy. He dared not say more and silently thought, the daughter of the Yu Duke was once a noble consort, and the current empress is the former queen. The noble consort and the queen had a feud, and eventually, she accidentally died in the palace, so the Yu Duke blamed this on the queen. If your majesty is the daughter of the queen and requests a book, it will surely be difficult. Not knowing how to start, Jean Li suddenly stood up and shouted, I will personally pay my respects to Yu Duke. After a long while, outside the Yugong Manor, Jean Li walked out tiredly. The commander of the Imperial Guards, Hua Qian, rushed over to support her, grumbling unhappily, Yu Duke has gone too far. He clearly knew the emperor had an injury on his leg and deliberately made things difficult for him. His majesty is of noble status and should be treated with the utmost respect, yet he forced him to kneel before the tablet of Yen consort for 3 hours. But Jean Li paid no mind, merely smiling as she looked at the book in her hands, at least what I wanted has been achieved. On the way back, she had a question in her mind, however, the book only mentioned the wedding dress monster in Yi Guan Forbidden, so why did Qi Yuan say there are also belly band monsters and lingerie monsters? How strange. Never mind, I'll send this information to Qi Yuan first. On Qi Yuan's side, he was hiding behind a rock waiting for a response. After a long wait, a message finally came back. The monsters in Yi Guan Forbidden all complement each other, but at night, this connection significantly weakens. The bright-eyed man cheered, so that's how it is. At night, the connection between the ritual vestments demon beast weakens, this is my chance. Looking at the dazzling sun above, he felt a bit regretful, it's a pity it's daytime now, I can't hunt monsters. This sun is truly round, just like a golden elixir. Not bad, not bad. Jean Li even found the locations of the dangerous areas and the elite ritual vestments demon beast, how thoughtful. After reading the information for a while, he sent a message asking, a few days ago, you mentioned you've been having some trouble. What happened? Have you gone into the storyline of the game? What identity are you playing? Let me help you think of something. Jean Li, somewhat confused, wondered, is he asking about my current identity? If I don't say anything, will he get angry? After hesitating for a while, she replied, I am the queen of the Nanqian kingdom. Qi Yuan continuously exclaimed, wow, your character is impressive, you're the empress. I must meet you in the game then, the empress is super rare. What task are you doing now? Jean Li had to once again figure it out for herself. A task? Is she asking me if I'm facing any problems? She honestly recounted, right now, the Nanqian kingdom is in chaos from both internal and external threats. Inside, Sima Ting is eyeing the throne. Outside, the Beihan royal court is invading, and there are also demon beasts constantly attacking and seizing land. The situation is very unstable. Qi Yuan was also trying to figure things out. Got it, Jean Li is stuck in the storyline and being bullied by the NPCs. Thinking it was just a game, he didn't hesitate and made a decision, don't worry, once I get outside, I'll wipe out all these NPCs for you. But then a new idea popped into his head. However, I can still change the way to help you. Do you know? Just doing push-ups can make you stronger. If you persist in training every day, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups, you can gain tremendous strength. Jean Li didn't understand anything. Training, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups. What are those? Qi Yuan immediately sent over some illustrative images. Have your subordinate look at the movements I drew and do them in the Xian Yuan forbidden area. It means to be stronger than it. Jean Li was not very convinced and wondered, can doing these movements really enhance my strength? But Qi Yuan also said that carrying a ladder is necessary to enter the Xian Yuan forbidden area. Could this really be a type of supreme skill? On the other side, Qi Yuan was writing down the new rules with a pen. The words transformed into a stream of spiritual energy, flying towards the Xian Yuan forbidden area. Suddenly, a strand of hair appeared at the end of the spiritual energy. This scene left Qi Yuan dumbfounded. Oh, will enhancing cultivation have the side effect of hair loss? Why is this happening? Is it possible that changing the rules of the dungeons is based on one's understanding and improvements? Thinking of this, he sighed and added, right, everyone be careful, excessive training can lead to hair loss. More seriously, it could even lead to baldness. Jin Li looked on, his head full of questions. Why does enhancing cultivation cause hair loss? What kind of connection is this? After a while, Qi Yuan returned to the Shenguang sect, looking at his 1 or 2 pets with satisfaction and said, there needs to be a balance between work and rest. After playing games, one still has to take the knife to cut vegetables for a walk. I wonder if it was when it was born with spiritual intelligence, would I be able to kill a golden Korjan Ren with it? Just as this thought crossed his mind, a group of people approached from a distance, attracting his attention. Wherever they went, they shouted, Law Enforcement Hall is at work, clear the way, clear the way. They were disciples of Jin Guang Hall. Jin Guang Hall is the law enforcement hall of Shenguang sect, but when they reached Qi Yuan, they still bowed respectfully, greetings, grand senior brother. He also gently waved his hand, no need for formalities. He overheard the gossip of the people around him. Jingjiang, his senior brother was injured. Could it be the work of Heishan sect? It's very likely. I heard that the direct disciple of Heishan sect, Chu Tianxiong, raped a newlywed woman in Song City and even exterminated her family. Jingjiang, his senior brother of Jin Guang Hall, went down the mountain to capture him because of this. Someone next to him questioned, Jingjiang, his senior brother is very powerful, how could he possibly lose to Chu Tianxiong? The storyteller replied, after defeating the old man, the juniors come in, every sect has its own issues like that. Hearing this, he paused, recalling. The Deshang kingdom has 3 major sects. Shenguang sect, Xian Fu Mountain, and Mou sect. But if one were to name the sect that must never be underestimated, it would be Heishan sect, one of the 3 major sects. In terms of overall strength, Heishan sect was inferior to the other 3 major sects. However, the master of Heishan sect had an adoptive father known as Heiji Old Demon. Heiji Old Demon was a mid-stage nascent soul expert. Vengeful, petty, and extremely hard to deal with. Because of him, Heishan sect grew arrogant and domineering, stirring up trouble everywhere. Qi Yuan was still thinking about this when the voices of several disciples cut off his train of thought. Besides, during the Foundation Establishment Festival half a month from now, Heishan sect will also participate. When that time comes, the face of our Shenguang sect will be completely lost. Suddenly, a female disciple who admired Qi Yuan exclaimed. It's senior brother Qi, so handsome. The disciples from the other group immediately lost interest. They waved their hands dismissively and muttered. Our Shenguang sect is facing disaster, yet that guy is still walking around everywhere holding a kitchen knife. Keep your voice down. Isn't he still not even at Foundation Establishment? What use will he be in the festival? He probably can't even beat Chu Tianxiong. Qi Yuan didn't care about their mocking at all. He simply continued strolling around leisurely. That night, inside Yi Guan Forbidden, he stealthily observed the strange creatures hanging from the trees, sighing inwardly. Indeed, at night their ability to sense has diminished significantly, and their connection with each other has weakened as well. Without saying a word, Qi Yuan drew his sword and pierced one through. The others still hung on the trees, leaving him utterly delighted. Indeed, there's no movement. Then he charged in madly, taking down several from the farthest. When the creatures began to show some signs of disturbance, he finally stopped. I've killed dozens already, and only now do the surrounding elite monsters sense anything. But at night, aren't they just like a bunch of flies? The time for hunting has come. Qi Yuan no longer cared, plunging into the midst of the creatures, continuously slashing and killing. Watching the stream of experience notifications pop up, he laughed loudly, echoing throughout the forest. This is the real gaming experience. So satisfying. Suddenly, a strange noise came from afar, and birds scattered from the trees. He looked over in alarm. Oh no, the other demon beasts are starting to awaken. But why are you reacting so slowly now, and not gathering together? How are you going to fight me? No longer hesitating, he charged straight into battle with the newcomers. A few hours later, Chi Yuan wearily leaned down, checking the system screen and letting out a sigh of relief. Phew, the number of ritual vestments demon beasts is still too many. Not bad, I've reached level 84, and my strength has increased quite a bit. Within half a month, I must clear the entire Iguan forbidden area. I feel a bit tired, I need to feast on a roasted chicken when I get back. The next day, in the Wangyu mainland, inside the royal palace's study, Jin Li joyfully ran out to ask, Qin Aunt, is your injury okay now? She bowed her head and replied, Thank you, Your Majesty, for the royal medicine, my injury has been completely healed, and my strength has increased another level. Jin Li sighed with relief, that's good. Qin Aunt, there's a battle with the national teacher of the Nan Feng Kingdom in 6 days. Are you confident? She hesitated for a moment. About that, yesterday the grand teacher of the Nan Feng Kingdom visited Sima Ting, and Sima Ting gave him a pill called the Chaos Origin Blood Soothing Pill. Jin Li was taken aback, what? Hua Qian exploded in anger, everyone knows Sima Ting's intentions, doesn't he fear being slandered? Jin Li bit her nails frantically calculating. The imperial preceptor of the Nan Feng Kingdom is a strong late-stage king-level expert, who has cultivated the dragon elephant prison refining technique. The stronger the blood qi, the more powerful the skill becomes. When cultivated to the highest realm, it can possess the strength of 100 dragon elephants. Previously, Qin Aunt was slightly stronger than the imperial preceptor of the Nan Feng Kingdom after consuming Jiu Hua Qi La. However, if the Grand Preceptor of the Nan Feng Kingdom uses a top-grade blood qi elixir, he could directly reach perfection, and might even catch a glimpse of the Emperor level. In that case, Qin Aunt would definitely be unable to cope. She turned to walk inside, Qin Aunt, if you use more of this imperial elixir, can it enhance your strength? Qin Aunt was at a loss for words, I don't know where your majesty got so many precious elixirs, but even for me, with these elixirs, it would still take 3 years to break through to the Emperor level. There isn't enough time. Jin Li bit her lip, trembling, no, there must be another way. Finding the tiger wolf herb could enhance strength in a short time, right? No, I can't let Qin Aunt face this kind of danger. Not right, but it's not entirely impossible either. She turned and commanded, go. Depart for Xian Yuan Forbidden. Her purpose was to do push-ups. At Shenguang sect, Chi Yuan entered the main hall, clasped his hands, and bowed, greetings, master. The person seated above smiled, you still acknowledge this old master of mine? Ku Mu Zhenren, master of Shenguang sect, a spy from Mou sect. He calculated, withdraw an elder from Mou sect and bring them to Shenguang sect. From a servant disciple, he had risen to become a direct disciple, but he did not know what the other party wanted him to do. Whenever he contacted the elders, they always told him to wait, 3 years, then 3 more years, at this rate, I will become a master myself. Time passed swiftly, and he had gone from being an undercover agent to becoming the master of Shenguang sect, greetings, master. The old man sighed, well, this master position isn't too bad. The elder of Mou sect was furious to death over a letter from Master Ku Mu Zhenren. People in the demonic cultivator also foolishly dream of inciting a relationship between my true self and Shenguang sect. Don't contact me again in the future. We are afraid of misunderstandings with others. The old man clenched the letter, trembling with anger. You, little guy, you. Returning to the present, Chi Yuan calmly assessed. In short, he has done nothing wrong towards the Shenguang sect. Ku Mu, the true monarch, stepped down to discuss. Half a month later is the Foundation Establishment Conference. This Foundation Establishment Conference is organized by our Shenguang sect. The Deshang Kingdom, Xian Fu Mountain, Mou sect, and other sects will send disciples to compete for the Spirit Grade Foundation Establishment first rank. The Yellow Blossom Fruit and other chief sects have already established their foundations. This time, you will lead our Shenguang sect to participate in the Foundation Establishment Conference, and I hope you can bring fame to our sect and achieve first place. Chi Yuan was taken aback and stroked his chin. He confidently stroked his beard, calculating in his mind. Among the chiefs, only Chi Yuan has not established his foundation. Coincidentally, the yellow blossom fruit has appeared in this secret realm. Could it be that this is the handiwork of that person at Chi Sha Peak, intentionally left for disciples to use for foundation establishment? This thing is valuable. Every time it appears, there is fierce competition. That person regards her most useless grand disciple. How thoughtful. If Chi Yuan can really use yellow blossom fruit to strengthen foundation establishment, then the path of cultivation ahead. At this moment, he was also deep in thought. Spiritual items for first-grade foundation establishment will definitely sell for a high price. At Xian Yuan Forbidden, Aunt Qin was doing push-ups. Suddenly, she seemed to sense something, raising her hand. It seems like, it really has an effect, just one push-up feels equivalent to half a day's cultivation. A subordinate nearby silently calculated, so that means doing 24 push-ups could be equivalent to a day's cultivation. If we keep this up, wouldn't we progress rapidly? Another person doing push-ups exclaimed, I've actually broken through. The bottleneck that has held me back for 3 years has been shattered just like that. Everyone was startled. What? This cultivation method can actually bypass bottlenecks and innate talent. Everyone, as if injected with adrenaline, began doing push-ups. I want to train too, I want to train, I want to train. Jin Li walked over to inquire, how is Aunt Qin doing? She continued doing push-ups joyfully. It's miraculous, even the Emperor Supreme might not have such a method. The esteemed friend of His Majesty is truly an expert from another realm. In just 2 days, I can reach the royal level. Suddenly, some hair fell out, surprising her. Oh, why am I losing hair? Jin Li shyly explained, there's something I forgot to mention to everyone. Doing these movements in the Xian Yuan Forbidden area will have certain side effects on cultivation, which means you might lose hair. Everyone was silent for 3 seconds before frantically doing push-ups. What's a little hair loss? I would willingly risk my life for His Majesty. After all, I'm already bald. With such a rare opportunity, I must cultivate like crazy. In the evening at the Yi Guan Forbidden area, Chi Yuan excitedly said, in just over 10 more days, I can reach level 90. At that moment, a message from Jin Li came through, Chi Yuan, Aunt Qin has won. Sima Ting completely didn't expect Aunt Qin to reach the royal level. His expression at that time was quite amusing. He happily replied, great. Once you complete all the tasks, we can meet in person. Let's arrange to meet at a specific place. How does she feel under the ancient strange spring wood? The ancient strange spring wood is a mythical ancient tree located in mainland Wangyu. The ancient tree towers so high that no one knows its height. It is said that one can grasp the moon and stars from its top. Legend has it that this tree was planted by a celestial being. The celestial being told his wife that he would return when the ancient strange spring would reach 3 zhang, about 10 meters. Then, the tree grew to 3 zhang, 30 zhang, 300 zhang, and even higher than 3,000 zhang. In the end, the celestial being's wife still did not see her husband return in triumph. Jin Li happily hugged the token and dreamily messaged, meeting there will surely be very romantic. On this side, Chi Yuan wondered, ancient strange spring wood? There is a tree on the peak of Chi Sha. Could this also be a landmark? He directly asked, where is the ancient strange spring wood you mentioned? She began to point in the direction, you look up to the southwest. There is a large tree, that is the ancient strange spring wood. The towering tree left him stunned. Is this the ancient strange spring wood you mentioned? I didn't notice it before. When the time comes, I will throw a barbecue. She brought delicious wine. Let's go camping under the tree together, shall we? Jin Li blushed and replied immediately, sure. At Xinguang sect, the junior brothers asked about Chi Yuan, senior brother, tomorrow is the Foundation Establishment Conference, and you're still taking your pet for a walk. He didn't care and continued, my pet is about to awaken its spiritual intelligence, so I can't be careless. I need to take it out for a walk. The little junior brothers admired him, senior brother is truly remarkable. Everyone huddled together and whispered, the people at Chi Sha Peak are really calm. Tomorrow is the Foundation Establishment Conference, yet he still has the time to walk his pet. Moreover, he even brought a kitchen knife. If the emperor is not in a hurry, why should eunuch be? If you're not worried, then why aren't you representing Shenguang's sect in battle? Isn't it because my cultivation isn't good enough? I heard that Chu Tianxiong from Heishan's sect is also coming to our place. The other person was astonished, he dares to come. Another shouted, that beast helping Heishan's sect must be relying on the Heiji old demon, they want to slap Shenguang's sect in the face. He frowned and looked back. The Heishan sect is indeed quite arrogant. Qi Yuan entered the house, raised an eyebrow at the knife, and said, you should awaken your spiritual intelligence too, otherwise, how could I go around chopping people? Has little junior sister made something delicious again? It smells really good. Just as his footsteps faded away, the knife cautiously lifted its head and cut the rope binding it to the post. Before it could escape, it was caught by him. Qi Yuan grinned maliciously, you're quite clever, having untied yourself. Clearly, you've awakened your spiritual intelligence, yet you're still pretending. Do you want to be lazy? But that's a good thing. If that's the case, then I can also chop down the golden core. At the Shenguang sect, the Foundation Establishment Conference finally began. Elder Mo from the Feihua sect has arrived, Fenguang Sword Master from Xianfu Mountain is here, and Bai Ji Old Ancestor from Heishan sect has come. Qi Yuan greeted them warmly, congratulations to all for coming to the Shenguang sect to participate in the Foundation Establishment Conference. He glanced at Bai Ji and contemplated, it was him who injured Jing Jianghe. His old name was Kuan Shan Sr., but he changed it to Bai Ji Old Ancestor due to his relationship with Hei Ji Old Ancestor. He stepped forward and questioned, why hasn't the Foundation Establishment Conference started yet? Is the Shenguang sect deliberately wasting our time? Qi Yuan extended his hand, please, everyone. Suddenly, a quarrel erupted from behind, isn't that Jiang Ran? Why did she come to the Shenguang sect? Although I know you have exceptional talent, you still need the help of Heiji Old Ancestor to truly shine. Why not come with me to Heishan sect instead? Jiang Ran trembled and stepped back, I. At that moment, Qi Yuan understood. It turned out that her situation was special. She was being targeted by old demon Heiji who wanted to make her a cauldron, which was why she had fled to the Shenguang sect. A disciple of the Shenguang sect angrily defended her, Chu Tianxiong, how dare you speak disrespectfully in our Shenguang sect? Damn it, I will protect junior sister. You have committed a grave crime in Rome City and even injured Jing's senior brother, yet you still dare to come up the mountain. Chu Tianxiong shrugged dismissively, I came up the mountain because your master invited me. What's wrong? You don't accept it. Your gritted teeth expression really resembles that of Jing's senior brother. The opposing disciple became furious, are you looking for death? Qi Yuan quietly observed the man. He was an ordinary demonic cultivator, his complexion slightly darkened, seemingly on the verge of a bloody disaster. Qi Yuan quickly stepped in to mediate. Brother, I have recently learned a divination technique, may I read your fortune? I see that your forehead is dark, and it seems that a disaster will soon befall you. The man became furious. You. At that moment, Bai Ji spoke up. Tianxiong, this is the territory of the Shenguang sect. Chu Tianxiong gritted his teeth and turned away. Fine, thank you for the kind intention, junior brother, I will remember it, senior brother. The sects gathered at the mountain peak, and the Foundation Establishment Conference began. The content of the Foundation Establishment Conference was very simple, disciples from the refined Qi realm of various sects would compete in battles. Mou sect Duan Tian Jiao greets you, senior brother. Qi Yuan replied from across. Shenguang sect Qi Yuan. He silently assessed her. She is an ordinary cultivator, but has a small habit of fidgeting with her toes. Be careful not to get kicked by her feet, watch out for athlete's foot. How does this girl even know about biological attacks? The signal sounded, the competition begins. Immediately, Duan Tian Jiao spat out a mouthful of blood and trembled unsteadily. No wonder senior brother is the top disciple of Chi Sha Peak, his techniques are truly formidable. Tian Jiao has lost. Qi Yuan and the others froze, what is happening? This is Qi Yuan's second match. He sighed in relief, this time the opponent is a swordsman from Xianfu Mountain. It's rare to encounter a swordsman. I want to see just how sharp the sword technique of the swordsman really is. He clasped his hands, I seek your guidance. Chi Yuan was excited, using my finger as a sword is not without the potential to unleash sword intent. Today, I will use it to confront the enemy. The path of the sword is exhilarating and profound. Suddenly, the swordsman knelt down, clutching his chest, and said with difficulty, the domineering magic is truly impressive, injuring people invisibly. Senior brother, I have lost. A shout erupted from below, unfair, it's unfair. A nearby disciple of Xian Fu Mountain quickly covered his mouth, what nonsense are you saying? Senior brother, you don't want to offend anyone, you must think about the bigger picture. Doesn't the sect want to thrive? Chi Yuan twitched the corner of his mouth, glancing at the distant mountain peak. Could it be because of the master? Only she could do such things without caring about her reputation. The Fenguang sword master recalled, after the first-grade yellow blossom fruit spiritual items appeared, all the sect cultivators were excited and restless. Unfortunately, that master peak of Chi Sha Peak sent a messenger pigeon to the sects, not bribing anyone but simply coercing them. However, no one dared to resist, because 30 years ago, the Mou sect had grand ambitions, aiming to unify Dashang and become the leader of the immortal Tao. After the master peak of Chi Sha Peak visited the Mou sect alone, they no longer mentioned unifying Dashang. Even the ancient strange spring wood that had just been planted was taken to Chi Sha Peak. I heard she has entered the late nascent soul stage. If it weren't for her injuries, she would have entered the purple mansion long ago. So who would be foolish enough to provoke her greatest disciple? The subsequent process saw Chi Yuan's combat strategy go remarkably smoothly. As soon as he steps onto the stage, his opponents all concede. However, after Chi Yuan entered the final round, an unexpected event occurred. The disciple stepped forward and introduced himself, He Shan Sect, Chu Yun Dong, please guide me, senior brother. Chi Yuan examined his divine weapon, this is a divine weapon for foundation establishment. When using the feather flower technique to injure the foundation establishment, he frowned, refined Chi realm fighting, and yet you take out a foundation establishment weapon? Elder Fei Hua, sitting above, laughed and said, you He Shan sect have quite the ambition. Bai Ji did not deny it, spiritual items for foundation establishment, everyone desires them, otherwise, why would this foundation establishment conference be held? Fei Hua frowned as he assessed, He Ji old demon is at the mid-nascent soul stage, while Master Peak Chi Sha Peak is suspected to be at the late nascent soul stage and is injured. This He Shan sect is quite bold, could it be that this He Ji old demon has broken through to the late nascent soul stage? Chu Tian Xiong below laughed with delight, Chi Yuan, don't be too arrogant, predicting that I will face a bloody disaster. Let me see today who will truly face a bloody disaster. The bell signaling the start rang out, let's begin. The people on the sidelines gradually realized that something was off. That divine weapon is not right at all. Isn't it the divine weapon foundation establishment stage? Can Chi's senior brother handle it? At this moment, Chi Yuan smiled confidently as he devised a plan. If he holds the divine weapon foundation establishment, then as long as he can't unleash its effects, it will be fine. Little needle maneuver. He quickly vanished from everyone's sight, causing Chu Yundong to anxiously look around. Chu Tian Xiong below was stunned, where did that little guy go? Just then, he appeared from behind and threw a punch that caught him off guard. He retracted his fist and announced, I've won. The announcer joyfully appeared and shouted, Shenguang sect, Chi Yuan wins. The disciples below erupted in excitement, why did Chi's senior brother suddenly disappear just now? It seems Chi's senior brother used some kind of teleportation technique. Chi's senior brother is so cool. Chu Tian Xiong angrily kicked Chu Yundong and cursed, useless person. Fei Hua above laughed happily, haha, no wonder he is the top disciple of Chi Sha Peak, his fighting technique is so profound. The disciples of Shenguang sect cheered. Senior brother Chi, you are truly impressive. Senior brother Chi, how did you manage to win? Chi Yuan smiled and replied seriously, it's very simple, just play games a lot. The disciples buzzed, play games. Senior brother said we need to combine rest with training, if we just train hard, we'll end up tense and die. What does this mean? The great master smiled kindly and stepped forward, Chi Yuan, this is the reward from this foundation establishment conference, a spiritual item for foundation establishment, the yellow blossom fruit. The surrounding disciples drooled. Is that the yellow blossom fruit spiritual item for foundation establishment? If we use it for foundation establishment, then wouldn't it? Chi Yuan was so excited that his hands trembled. It must be worth over 10,000 spirit stones. The great master coughed lightly. I hope you will use this spiritual item for foundation establishment for the sake of the sect. He stiffened, using the yellow blossom fruit for foundation establishment. What I want is the heavenly Tao foundation establishment. Zhou Tianxiong snorted coldly, catching his attention. He warned, Brother Su Dao, the blood disaster on you is becoming more intense. The man sneered, who are you trying to scare? You should worry more about your junior sister Jiang Ran. We see that she has just experienced a blood disaster. He turned to look at her. She is an ordinary monk, but recently a auspicious light has been radiating from her, as if something good is about to happen. Chi Yuan shook his head. You are wrong, Jiang junior sister has a lucky light around her, there must be some joyful news. Why don't you bow to Jiang junior sister, absorb some of the joyful energy, and perhaps the blood disaster will dissipate. Chu Tianxiong, furious, stepped forward. You. He suddenly realized that the person beside him was keeping watch, so he dared not act rashly. He could only push someone else down and run away. Get out of the way. The junior brothers were excited. Chi's senior brother is really impressive. Chi's senior brother has calculated everything carefully. He won't dare to cause trouble. No wonder he is Chi's senior brother. The Chi person is really cool. Chi Yuan shook his head and sighed. A dog biting a newcomer is the kind of ungrateful person who doesn't understand the good intentions of others. Jiang Ran hurried over. Thank you, Chi Yuan's senior brother. He wondered, thank you for what? She cheerfully replied, of course, it's because Chi's senior brother stepped in to help me. Chi Yuan seriously corrected her. What I said is true, he really does have a blood disaster. Moreover, if he truly bowed his head, it could indeed dissipate that bloodshed disaster. Jiang Ran admired. The words of senior brother Chi Yuan are truly interesting, having merit but not arrogant at all. As if suddenly remembering, she hurriedly whispered, that's right, senior brother, you must be careful with Chu Tianxiong. He is a malicious person, vengeful, so don't leave the sect at this time. He was unconcerned. Chu Tianxiong is insignificant, just one slash will do. Jiang Ran fearfully recalled, Chu Tianxiong has not only reached foundation establishment but also married a wife to He Ji old demon as a concubine, giving him a high status in He Shan sect. There must be schemes from He Shan sect involved, senior brother must be careful. He signaled that he understood. I didn't expect this guy to wear a hat, quite concerned about safety issues. She looked at his back, imagining, with first-grade spiritual items for foundation establishment, senior brother can step into the nascent soul realm. I just wonder if I will still be alive by then. Chi Yuan arrived at Chi Sha Peak, and a golden restriction appeared. This is the restriction left by the master, preventing him from ascending the mountain, but it hasn't been the same recently. He confidently recited the incantation, Open Sesame. After a while, nothing seemed to change, causing him to furrow his brow and stroke his chin. The restriction isn't moving at all. Could it be that I misunderstood Master's intentions? Master helped me obtain the first-grade spiritual items foundation establishment. I've seen that intent with just a glance. Could it be that I'm being too cautious? Chi Yuan knelt down, offering the wooden box with both hands. Master, disciple Chi Yuan has brought the fruit. A powerful lightning strike hit the box that Chi Yuan was holding up. He panicked and thought to himself, is Master angry? Did I really misunderstand? Immediately afterward, the sky cleared up again. Chi Yuan broke into a sweat, recalling those words. Could it be that the implication of the yellow blossom fruit isn't good? Yellow blossom, golden flower of tomorrow. At that moment, he suddenly realized, that's right, if she is already my wife, then I don't need to offer a bride price. Wouldn't that make Master seem like an outsider? At the same time, Chi Yuan also remembered the introduction about Master provided by the system. Her name is Ruani Shi. On the outside, she is your beautiful master, but in reality, she is your wife. He carried a hint of disappointment as he turned to leave. Let's go back. As soon as Chi Yuan arrived at the gate of the courtyard, Jang Ling Su rushed out in a panic to inform him, Senior brother, did you notice anything unusual just now? It seems that a strong presence has caused a disturbance in the spiritual energy, breaking the peaceful cycle of the four seasons of heaven and earth. Could it be the master? Chi Yuan honestly admitted, yes, I wanted to present a gift to the master, but she refused to accept it. Jang Ling Su looked at him with a mix of horror and disbelief. Could it be that you have offended the master? As she followed Chi Yuan inside, Jang Ling Su eagerly reported on her assigned tasks. By the way, senior brother, earlier you told me to investigate Jingjiang Hen at Chi Sha Peak. But the healer said he hasn't fully recovered, so he hurried down the mountain to Rong City. She carefully recalled Jingjiang Hen's words to relay to Chi Yuan. He said that the He Shan sect will not leave Rong City. As long as he is in Rong City, the He Shan sect will be bound and unable to harm the people. But Jang Ling Su couldn't help but wonder, since when did senior brother have such a good relationship with Jingjiang Hen? He even wants me to represent Chi Sha Peak for a visit. Could it be because he usually respects you? At this point, Jang Ling Su suddenly paused, as she noticed the extremely grim expression on Chi Yuan's face. At night, in Rong City, at the Chen residence. A group of people from the He Shan sect silently entered the courtyard. Chu Tianxiong turned to Bai Ji old ancestor and suggested, Elder, let's stay here tonight. To his words, the elder did not object but nodded with interest. Staying here, we will definitely encounter those righteous people pretending to be virtuous. Tianxiong, you really know how to get things done. Immediately after, he ordered the followers, all right, you all go to the different rooms. As Bai Ji old ancestor left, Lu Wei curiously approached Chu Tianxiong and asked, Tianxiong deacon, is there something shady about this place? Why would staying here make Shenguang's sect uncomfortable? Chu Tianxiong disdainfully recounted past events while also answering Lu Wei. Because I attended the wedding of the master of this house, I wanted to borrow his newlywed wife to practice my Tao. Unexpectedly, that woman resisted fiercely, and yet she directly ran into a pillar and died. Saying this, he still appeared annoyed, sitting down in the main seat, waving his hand and grumbling, if it weren't for that mixed bunch from the Shenguang sect coming, I would have long since wiped out this unhappy family. Today, I will wait here to see if this family returns. Lu Wei, upon hearing this, quickly ran forward, rubbing his hands and flattering, Tianxiong deacon, today when I entered the city, I heard the sound of firecrackers and drums, as if someone was having a wedding. I intentionally released a spirit insect to record the address. How about tonight, my junior brothers and I follow you to practice the Tao? Upon hearing this, Chu Tianxiong was extremely pleased, patting his shoulder in praise, Lu Wei, right? You know how to get things done, I remember you. Tonight during the practice, I will let you be the first to taste the flavor of the bride. Lu Wei humbly thanked him, thank you, Tianxiong deacon. The others chimed in, laughing and congratulating him, little guy, you are in luck. But right after that, Chu Tianxiong's expression changed. He thought of the old grievances and growled in anger, this person from the Shenguang sect truly deserves to die, especially that Chi Yuan today, who has gone too far in his arrogance. If it weren't for his master, I would make him understand what it means to face bloodshed today. Lu Wei noticed the frustration in him and quickly tried to soothe him with sweet words, Tianxiong deacon, why bother with that fool? Once our He Shan sect unifies the cultivating immortals world of Dashang, we can deal with that idiot however we want. Just then, a knocking sound came from outside the door. Chu Tianxiong immediately pushed Lu Wei aside, Lu Wei, go see who it is. As he cautiously opened the large door, he was met by a figure wearing a very strange mask. Lu Wei was so frightened that he quickly stepped aside, while Chu Tianxiong raised his guard and shouted at the masked person, who are you? Take off your mask now. The masked figure pulled out a shiny kitchen cleaver and ominously asked, do you really want to see? Those who have seen my face don't end up well. As soon as Chu Tianxiong saw the cleaver, he was puzzled, a kitchen knife. But before he could comprehend, the figure darted like lightning, the knife in hand slicing through the air, leaving a trail of red blood. When he stopped, Chu Tianxiong's head had already been severed from his body. The masked man then coldly spoke, originally, your bloodshed was meant to fall upon me. The remaining individuals were so startled by the sudden turn of events that they stuttered, this is. One of them screamed in horror, Tianxiong deacon. But another one still threatened fiercely, you dare. Do you know who we are? The masked man pointed the bloodied kitchen knife at them and replied nonchalantly, "Of course, the He-shan sect, right? I will kill you all." Saying that, he swung the knife and charged at the remaining He-shan sect disciples, causing them to scream in terror, old ancestor, save us." Immediately after, a dark figure rushed in with a thunderous roar, "You brat, how dare you do this?" The disciples saw their savior and shouted in unison, "Elder." They were overjoyed, thinking to themselves, "Saved, the old ancestor is at the Golden Core realm." Although this masked figure has a terrifying name and can easily kill Foundation establishment monks, he is definitely not a Golden Core. As Bai Ji old ancestor appeared, he unleashed a powerful golden light towards the masked man, shouting loudly, "Die." The masked figure swung the cleaver in his hand, executing a move called Heavenly/Sword Technique. He leaped high into the air, a brilliant halo shining behind him. The golden light reflected in the wide-open eyes of Bai Ji old ancestor, filling him with a sense of horror. How can this be? Am I really feeling fear? I am a Golden Core after all. But immediately after, the masked man's strike came down upon him. Bai Ji old ancestor could only let out a desperate scream as his body was split in two, falling to the ground. As the masked figure landed, he looked at the tragic state of Bai Ji old ancestor and felt extremely bewildered. Could it be that I am too powerful? But soon after, he justified himself, but then again, it could also be that his golden elixir is too weak and small, so even one of my strikes couldn't be withstood. Not far away, a group of people was hurriedly running towards them. Zheng Jianghen led the group, thinking angrily to himself, "These people from the He-shan sect are actually heading towards the Qin residence, treating our Shenguang sect as nothing. Today, I must drive them out of Song City." But just as they arrived in front of the Qin residence, he raised his hand to stop the people behind him, cautiously looking at the tightly closed door. "There's a smell of blood, could it be that the survivors of the Qin residence have been found by them?" As soon as he thought of this, the main gate of the Qin residence opened. The group immediately gripped their swords tightly. But coming from inside was a person in white wearing a mask. Zheng Jianghen thought for a moment, a member of the He-shan sect. "No, that's not right." He politely raised his hand in greeting, "May I ask who you are?" The person did not respond but quickly jumped onto the roof and left. Moreover, they left behind a disjointed remark, "My wife is about to give birth, so I must take my leave." His words left Zheng Jianghen and the others bewildered. What did he say? Suddenly, one of his team members shouted in panic, "Zheng senior brother, quickly look inside." From outside the door, they could see the horrific scene of corpses and blood scattered everywhere inside. Zheng Jianghen was still shocked to discover the head of Chu Tianxiong. Not only that, another person pointed at the bisected corpse of Bai Ji old ancestor, trembling as he reported, "Bai Ji old ancestor, there's also Bai Ji old ancestor." Another team member found it hard to believe, "Oh my, wasn't Bai Ji old ancestor a Zhenran who had achieved golden elixir? How could he die here?" Seeing the situation before him, Zheng Jianghen laughed joyously, Good. Let's burn everything here." The others echoed in unison, "Understood." A spark was lit, and in an instant, the entire Qin residence was engulfed in flames. Zheng Jianghen led the team, watching with great satisfaction, "We're leaving no corpses for you. Oh right, we are helping the senior to destroy the evidence." At the same time, on the long stairs leading up to Chi Sha Peak, an elderly couple was feeling their way step by step. The old woman sorrowfully advised the old man, "Old man, let's go back." But the old man resolutely replied, "Let me kneel for a while. If an immortal master happens to pass by and sees me, perhaps I can move them to take revenge for our Qian." The old woman sadly wiped her tears, feeling utterly hopeless, but in the eyes of the high-ranking immortals, we are nothing but ants. Just then, a figure lightly glided past them, accompanied by a gentle voice, "The sect knows about your situation." Qi Yuan casually walked by while advising them, but also affirming to the elderly couple, "Just go back and rest." As dawn broke, a clear call echoed on Chi Sha Peak, "Grand Senior Brother." Qi Yuan yawned as he opened the door, "What's the matter?" "It's early in the morning." Jiang ran, excited to see him, announced, "Qi Yuan Senior Brother, Chu Tianxiong and Bai Ji old ancestor are dead." Jang Ling Su also chimed in, recounting the situation he had heard. They stayed overnight in Song City yesterday and were all killed by a mysterious expert swordsman. But the expert concealed his own swordsmanship and used a sword to kill the disciples of the He Shan sect. Chi Yuan listened to the two girls chatting and couldn't help but feel worried. Oh no, it seems like the commotion is too big. How could they know such details? He cautiously asked, so what kind of sword did that person use? Jiang Ling Su just shook her head and guessed, I don't know, this kind of expert must have used a divine weapon. Chi Yuan raised the kitchen knife and seriously asked the two, isn't it a kitchen knife? Jiang Ling Su immediately denied it, how could that be? Jiang Ran also took his words as a joke and chuckled, the evil cultivators of the He Shan sect are really very arrogant. If they were all chopped down by a kitchen knife, their deaths would be quite tragic. But Chi Yuan looked seriously at the shiny kitchen knife in his hand, anxiously muttering, I have a kitchen knife, and the disciples of the He Shan sect died under the knife. Everyone, do you think the He Shan sect won't suspect that I killed Chu Tianxiong? Jiang Ling Su, not understanding the situation, hesitantly advised him, Grand Senior Brother, you shouldn't overthink it. But Chi Yuan pretended to be even more panicked. Moreover, yesterday I reminded Chu Tianxiong that there would be bloodshed if outsiders thought it was due to my intimidation. If that leads to dissatisfaction and they run off in the middle of the night to kill them all, then what? Jiang Ling Su was at a loss for words and said, absolutely certain, Grand Senior Brother, you can rest assured, no one will suspect you. Jiang Ran, standing beside him, couldn't stop laughing, Chi Yuan Senior Brother is really interesting. When he was alone in the room, Chi Yuan was so anxious that he paced back and forth, thinking, damn, I was careless. He couldn't stop feeling anxious as he recalled the situation from last night, wearing a mask is not a perfect solution. I should have worn women's clothing, that way, my gender wouldn't be revealed. Now they know the culprit used a knife, and I even said Chu Tianxiong is in danger of bloodshed. What if they think it's related to me? Will the He Shan sect come looking for trouble? Damn it, what if the He Shan sect has an expert fortune teller in hiding who predicts that I did it? Chi Yuan imagined the entire He Shan sect appearing at his door, constantly shouting, hand over Chi Yuan, hand over the criminal, hand over the criminal. Finally, he slammed the table in anger, didn't I just eliminate a few evil beings in the name of the bright moon? They plan to unite and bully me, a 229-month-old child. Is there no longer any law? Is there no longer any sense of justice? This is outrageous. He continued to act out towards the window, 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west, don't underestimate the poor youth, no, I must take revenge. The kitchen knife he had thrown aside also seemed speechless. But soon, Chi Yuan found a way forward, first, let's go to the Lu enforcement hall to check the documents of the He Shan sect. At the same time, in another place, Dong Xian, the prince of the Deshang kingdom, was leisurely walking down the street with a pile of scrolls in his arms. The emperor of the Deshang kingdom was old and confused, leading the princes to compete for the throne. Dong Xian, the least favored, hurriedly withdrew, voluntarily canceling his engagement and running to the Shenguang sect to hide. Unexpectedly, a remnant soul within his body had awakened a few days ago, and it turned out to be a powerful refined Qi master. During this time, the remnant soul had guided him in his cultivation. He also taught the secret technique of refining Qi, instructing him to search for treasures in the market. It turns out that cultivation was absent, as in order to seek life, he actively chose to break off the engagement, leading to an improvement in his life. At this moment, he was using sound transmission to communicate with the stream of Qi that was still following him. Qi old man, if He Ji the old demon enters the late nascent soul stage, won't the entire Deshang fall into chaos? Qi old man scoffed coldly, his tone mixed with a hint of warning as he replied, little guy, you are only refining Qi, so this is not something to worry about. Do you still crave that little bit of power of yours? Dong Xian quickly smiled and explained, at least it might help you regain some strength. Qi old man seemed pleased with his answer, his attitude softened as he responded, your foundation is too weak, the strength of your clan is insufficient, how can you compete with them? You should focus on your cultivation. With my assistance, in a few hundred years, you could reach the nascent soul stage. But at that moment, Qi old man suddenly stopped. Then, looking towards Qi Yuan, who had just appeared nearby, he anxiously asked Dong Xian, who is that guy? Dong Xian recognized him with just a glance. Without any hesitation, the man replied, I am the chief disciple of Chi Sha Peak, Chi Yuan. But in his heart, he couldn't help but wonder, why does Chi old man care about him? Chi old man then turned to Chi Yuan and urgently requested, that kitchen knife is a good item. Hurry, and buy it. Upon hearing this, the man felt a bit flustered. If he were just an ordinary disciple of the Shenguang sect, it would be fine, but that is Chi Yuan. However, in the end, Dong Xian still followed Chi old man's words. Forget it, since the old demon Chi asked, let's give it a try. He quickly ran behind Chi Yuan, bowed, and shouted loudly, Greetings, Chi Yuan senior brother. As soon as he turned his head, he recognized the man as, that little guy. Instantly, he became alert, the main character, I must keep my distance. Meanwhile, Dong Xian awkwardly started a conversation, Chi Yuan senior brother, I have something to tell you, but I don't know if I should. Upon hearing this, Chi Yuan bluntly interrupted, if you shouldn't say it, then don't say it. After that, he turned and ran straight away, ignoring Dong Xian's call from behind, wait, senior brother. The man watched Chi Yuan's frantic escape, feeling increasingly confused and questioning himself. I haven't even finished speaking, why are you rejecting it already? But just as Dong Xian was about to chase after him, Chi Oldman suddenly rushed out to stop him. No, stop, don't talk about this with him anymore, you need to be careful, the old man warned. There is blood from a golden core cultivator on his kitchen knife. Dong Xian looked at the kitchen knife hanging from Chi Yuan's waist, feeling even more puzzled. That kitchen knife has killed a golden core cultivator. Chi Yuan tightened the strap of his bag, closing the door while silently thinking, it's time to set off. Jang Ling Su appeared out of nowhere behind him, curiously asking, Grand Senior Brother, are you going out? Chi Yuan replied casually, I have to go out for foundation establishment. And I've already informed Master. Jang Ling Su was even more confused, why do you have to go so far for foundation establishment? Grand Senior Brother, are you scared? How could He Shan sect suspect you? You're overthinking it. But Chi Yuan turned to her, speaking with an extremely serious expression, reading 10,000 books is not as good as traveling 10,000 miles. Junior sister, you don't understand. After that, there was a moment of silence. The two stared at each other, wide-eyed. Finally, Chi Yuan had to accept defeat and said honestly, if the Heiji old demon sends someone to stop me, it would be a dead end. It's better to hide outside and return only when the danger has passed. Jiang Ling Su could no longer argue and sincerely agreed with him, Grand Senior Brother, you should leave quickly. I'm afraid that if I stay with you too long, I will go crazy. Without hesitation, Chi Yuan waved his hand, then I will go now. But Jiang Ling Su still worriedly reminded him, Grand Senior Brother, being alone outside, you must be careful. The outside world is not like our Shenguang sect. If you encounter someone from the He Shan sect, you must not provoke them at all. Chi Yuan responded dismissively, I know junior sister will understand me. The people from the He Shan sect have evil ambitions, they will definitely be a threat to me. Jiang Ling Su was dizzy from his boastful words, clutching her ears and silently cursing, Grand Senior Brother, why can't you be mute? Grand Senior Brother, why can't you be mute? Grand Senior Brother, why can't you be mute? Bloodless City is located in the far north of Dashang, near the He Shan sect and within its sphere of influence. This place is rich in blood crystals, a type of mineral that is beneficial for cultivators and has significant value. Therefore, many cultivators come here to mine. Moreover, the He Shan sect also reaps considerable benefits. A large boat just docked with an announcement, the flying boat has arrived at the Bloodless City area, passengers please gather your belongings. Following the announcement, Chi Yuan also disembarked the boat. The beautiful sister sitting next to him on the flying boat kindly advised, Dear Daoist friends, when you arrive at Bloodless City to mine blood crystals, be cautious of the He Shan sect. Offending the city lord may mean death for you alone. But if you offend the He Shan sect, it could mean the death of your entire family. Her words made Chi Yuan ponder. The He Shan sect is indeed very dangerous, if they find out I killed Chu Tianxiong, wouldn't they come after me and my family? Thinking of this, he couldn't help but smirk. But my household registration only has one page, isn't that surprising? Immediately after, he turned to look at the beautiful girl and continued to justify himself. According to her, the He Shan sect has committed countless crimes in Bloodless City and deserves to be eradicated. I'm not seeking revenge for myself but acting on behalf of justice. Meanwhile, the beautiful sister was happily inviting him, "Dear Daoist friend, if you don't have a place to stay, why not stay at my house?" Qi Yuan looked at her alluring figure and excitedly thought to himself, "One night of lodging.